Do you have some holiday paper left over that you'd like to use outside of its season? I've got an example for you today. Hi, I'm Jess from jesscrafts.com, and I'm going to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get started. Today I'm working with the Simple Stories 6x8 Happy Hearts collection. It is a Valentine's collection, but not everything in it needs to be for Valentine's Day. And today I was inspired to go into my collection and find something that was sort of past its season and use it for my card today. I have this 6x8 template that has never received its own dedicated video, so I'm sharing it with you today, and this card is, in terms of supplies, super simple. It is literally pattern paper cardstock adhesive. I am taking this 3x4 cut-apart sheet, and I'm using 2 of the cut-aparts for the main focal images because this 6x8 sheet template that you can get over at jesscrafts.com makes 2 cards with 1 sheet of 6x8 paper. I take 2 of the 3x4s and I use them as focal points, and then I take the other one and I use it for its backside. Certainly, if you have double-sided paper, it makes things easier because you always have 2 colors to choose from, or 2 patterns to choose from. But if you had just single-sided paper, you could cut 2 sheets and make double the cards, so making 4 cards. And that might be what a lot of people would be tempted to do in this instance too, because each of those 3x4 cards could have been their own focal point and 2 sheets of paper, and I would have been able to make 4 cards that were incredibly simple and fast to put together. But since I was trying to make more of a spring-looking card, I decided against some of the other 2 3x4 cards because they were a little bit more love/Valentine themed, and the 2 that I chose were more spring themed. In this instance, I chose 2 different colors for my cardstock mats. I chose a navy blue for the main focal images because I liked how the navy blue was incorporated in this particular pattern paper collection, and I didn't want to use too much pink because I felt like that leaned it more towards Valentine's Day. But if I did the navy blue for the strips in the background, as you can see, they have a navy blue background themselves. So they're navy blue with flowers on top. The pink brings out the flowers and it provides enough contrast, whereas in the navy blue, as the focal point, kind of tones it down. So I'm just kind of trying to balance all of these things. The navy blue in the collection is more purple than the blue that I have, because mine is the Gina K in the navy. I use a lot of Michael's Recollections cardstock, and that pink is from one of their 110-pound packs that has a whole bunch of different kinds of pink. But then there are some times where Michael's doesn't have the higher quality, thicker cardstock that I prefer in every color, and so sometimes I find other sources like Gina K, Simon Says Stamp, Lawn Fawn for other colors of cardstock to sort of round out my collection. But I'm always happy to get a good deal on some of my supplies like cardstock so that I can spend a little bit more money on other things like stamps. And that makes me think, like, what is your guys, for you guys, what is your splurge item? Like, I buy really expensive cardstock for my Copic coloring as well. And many of you also know I skimp on foam tape. I don't buy foam tape. Instead, I take old scraps of cardstock and I glue them together to create fake foam tape, which is really just a stack of cardstock, and then I glue it down instead. It's not as ideal for shaker cards, and so every once in a while I'll use my old stash of foam tape, or I'll do something like with scrapbook.com sometimes has little like giveaways with purchase, and a lot of times they'll do things like their high quality adhesive, including their foam tape. I use so little foam tape that if I get a free foam tape once a year with my order, that's usually enough. Anyway, let me know what's your skimp and what's your splurge. I'm lining up these strips in the background. The way that I suggest it in the sketch is that the top and bottom strip will kind of poke out from underneath the 3x4 focal panel. Now, I found even though in theory everything is measured to 4 1/4, when I am lining something up edge to edge like this, there's almost always just a tiny bit of overhang, and I can take my scissors and just trim that off. I personally prefer the 1/4 inch borders because I feel like it gives you more forgiveness If those borders were instead only 1/8 of an inch, when I trim off that little tiny bit, it might be much more noticeable. Once I have these cards finished, I think these are perfect for spring, even though I did a Valentine's paper. And so I took my spring jokes that are available also at jesscrafts.com and I put them inside. So if you're ever looking for something to finish off the card, check out the jokes at jesscrafts.com. If you found this video inspiring, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know how you like this video with a share to your crafty community. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video!